Okay, so for problem number 1, we need to find a bunch of key information. Now, the first thing I like to do is identify the asymptote. So in this case, my asymptote is at 2, like that. And if I go down here and it says the equation of the asymptote, it's just a horizontal line at 2, so I can write y is equal to 2. Now, the y-intercept coordinate, I'll do this in red, is at 0, 6. That's my y-intercept, so I can just write 0, 6 like that. The domain of the function, I'll come back to the base multiplier. That actually might be the trickiest part. The domain is always all real numbers. And so if you remember with domain and range, we would do -infinity to infinity. And we use parentheses because we can never equal infinity. So it's always so we always use parentheses with -infinity to infinity. That's all real numbers. And then the range, if we look, our minimum value is above 2. And so because our y, it seems, is coming down to 2. And so what I would say is our minimum value is 2 up to infinity. Now in this case, once again, I'm using the parentheses, not the bracket here for the 2, because we have an asymptote, which means it's going to get really, really close to 2, but never equal 2. So it's all the values above 2, but we don't include 2 in the range. And so that's our range. Now, for the base/multiplier, I'm looking at the distance from the asymptote up to my graph. So here at 0, I have a distance from 2 to 6 of 4. If I go 1 to the left at -1, I go from 2 to 10. That's 8, right? And if I go 1 to the right, that's from 2 to 4, that's 2. So I'm going 8, 4, 2. Well, 8 to 4, 4 to 2. So if you think about it, if I go 8 times some number equals 4, which times some number is equal to 2, what number is that? That has to be 1/2. So let me write that as a blue. So that's like 1 over 2 and 1 over 2. So each time, so my multiplier, my base multiplier, in this case is just 1/2. And so I can erase all this and make it 1/2. With this, I can use my equation, which is just basically my a, which is above 6. So, or sorry, my a is just the distance above my asymptote. In this case, it's 4, as we see here, right here, 4. And so I would say y is equal to 4 times 1/2 to the x minus 2. The 4 coming from the distance above my asymptote, the 1/2 is my base multiplier, and the minus 2 is my asymptote itself.